And welcome. I'm smartly dressed with a red tie on, of course, because in tribute to Taylor Swift's blog post here. So this is the making of a post, and let me just shrink myself down a little bit, and then I'll make myself disappear in a moment. So the making of a post, Blogger Talk number 6, is all about how I did something quite personal to me, or the feelings that I had after watching Taylor Swift's Hangout on Air. And so let's talk it through. There'll be in two parts. One is I'm going to show you, talk through the blog post, and then let's have a look at the back end and see what the compose window looked like. So first of all, if you haven't seen this one, Taylor Swift made a performance of a Hangout on Air which went brilliantly, and this is August 2012. I watched it and I thought this was at a time when Hangouts on Air were coming out to be quite important and quite big, and of course with an artist like Taylor Swift hosting herself, I thought it would be appropriate to document it. So let me just squeeze down. There you go, I've gone, and I'm just going to squeeze up. I'm just using Chrome just to make sure I can see it a lot better. So the way I work is, firstly, an event happened with me, i.e. I watched Taylor Swift's Hangout on Air. So I had something, I had a story that I wanted to tell. And then I came along and wrote it. Now, I always start with, actually, that's okay to see me, isn't it? I always start with the text. I don't want to do any formatting. I'm only interested in typing and writing. So you can see that I did put quite a long title to this one. And then we can go down and we can say, for me, I can't write any other way, telling a story or giving a few statistics. I've got some blog posts coming up on something called creative non-fiction, where you're trying to mark time and tell a story that's deep and within a story, if you like. So just looking through that image, by the way, up here of Taylor, I've taken from the live YouTube Hangout on Air type session. It was broadcast live, so therefore I think it was 1080p or something, so it's quite a good. I'll tell you what, let's show you through these because it's quite easy to show. And that is that clicking on the blog, first of all, we can see, and that's why I've got the tribute red tie on, because Taylor's album was called Red as well. So there she is sitting there looking lovely. Now, I paused the YouTube video, screenshot that, cropped that to use it. So that was one element of multimedia. You can see that this one is not so sharp. In other words, it's a shot. Well, it's not too bad, is it? But it angles it quite well. That's quite good because it sees a little bit behind the scenes. And you can see this fella over here holding a couple of microphones, ready for questions. And there's people sat around. It's quite kind of them to show behind the scenes. There's another one from Taylor. This one is from the Taylor Swift web chat YouTube page, and also we've got the album, and we've also got another picture of the album. So to come back out of there, from my point of view, finishing off just this section, we can talk through. Notice for me, my blog doesn't hold any advertisements at all, and also I try and put as many links in as I can. If you look at it at the bottom of the page here, you'll see Taylor Swift at Google+, and there is a link which actually links to the 21-digit ID. I'm sure she's verified by now. Then goes down text, and this is the part that I found, I'm not going to say difficult, but the story that I was telling, and you can read it for yourself, I'll link to it, was to say how she was doing. One, she introduced her new album, Red, 35 seconds into the Hangout, and my point was quite a few years ago you'd get people, other artists who would hold it on to later in the program, bearing in mind that her show was 25 minutes. And then I've just put something down. I'm not totally happy with it, but it's kind of changes, meaning that I've got a list on the left hand side of what happened, where she's taken the questions from, whether they're from the Hangout or in person with her fans, like sort of sat on the floor there. Then I'm putting in a couple of pictures from her album, and then the important part, of course, is that I have embedded page width, and I'll show you this on mine, column width, that if I inspect the element, which I hope you know how to do now, then we can see that this YouTube video player is coming out to be 580 wide. Now that's a really big deal, because there's so many blogs that I'm seeing at the moment where people just aren't either don't know, or they're just not sure how to do it to get a YouTube which actually looks, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want them squatty, I want them as big as I can, so people can see them. Everybody's going to click play or click through anyway. And there we are at the bottom. And then just to finish it off, my blog does have the Google Plus commenting system, and we can see there's a bunch through there. Now when I say a bunch, I want to be careful, because I can click top comments, so I can click the newest first. Now this is a year ago, and you can see that they're all backdated. We're over a year, isn't it? August 2012, and we're in January 14. And you can see there are a few things going on there, meaning I can look for, what's that do? Only from Google Plus circles, and then public as well. So that's a different topic on its own. So let's go down to part 2, because yeah, we will just have a quick look in here. Now, looking at the compose window, and I totally want to keep away from HTML. I know little bits and bobs about it. I'm here to be creative, I'm here to write, and I'm here to tell stories. I'm not here to get embedded in this code. If I find that I'm spending more than a couple of minutes looking at some kind of code or some numbers or some mathematics in here, then something's not going right. I want to be writing. So what I do, ouch, there we go, is I always write, then after I write, I go and justify the alignment of the text. I like it that way. So a lot of people just go for left alignment only. I don't. I like to do it, but I only do that when absolutely everything is finished. In other words, images are in, text is in, I'm happy with it. If I start messing around with all of this justification, then all of my text gets thrown out. But there is something up here. I will do it in a practice. I'm certainly not doing it now to mess this blog post up, bear in mind it's live. And that is that there is an element up here called remove formatting. And then if things look wrong, just highlight the text, hit remove formatting, and it will just drop itself back again. And the other thing that I used to do quite a few years ago, but don't do it so much, is copy text from, say, a web page or somewhere, put it into Notepad, and then put it back over to inside the compose window. Sometimes when you copy and paste things from other places, it brings some rich text formatting with it, and that's pretty bad news, really. I just want to keep it as simple as possible. So you can see going down here that I have, let's just take it one click out, zoom that is, and on here you can see this break line down here. Now this is just hover over it, which is insert a jump break. I like to make my blog posts, and then after a couple of weeks or so when they've been on the site, then I go back and I insert a break there, so it doesn't take too much load space. But of course this one's quite an old one. And then just clicking on an image, people might not know, but when you do that you get a choice of small, medium, large and extra large or original, and then you can go left and right with them, captions and a few bits and bobs. Now one of those things on here is to do title text and alt text. You see mine are blank. I know that that's a thing. I never do it, never have done. So I'm sure there'll be people watching saying, oh, you should do this and you should that, and I'm like, really? I don't bother. So anyway, I say I'm just telling you what I do, as opposed to whether it's right or wrong or anything else. Here we go. Bear in mind I've got 900 posts on the site. Going down to the bottom, and the one that I want to show you just to finish off this how we made the post, blogger number 6, is to look at the coding. So when I go over to HTML, and I'm going to bring it all the way down to the bottom again, it doesn't seem to snap back. What I'm looking for, the thing is with this, and I make I think maybe number 7 or number 8 of the series, and that video is made just with iframe yada 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 yada, and the bit I'm looking at here is 580 wide. 580 wide. Remember, that's what I said, that's what my page width is, and that's all it is, one line of code. And you can take that iframe from the share button over at YouTube, and that's pretty easy to do. But I will do a separate session on that because it's a big deal. And when I say a big deal, it gets like a nightmare. And when I say a nightmare, I mean when you click this button up here called Insert a Video. Dare I even look at this? And okay, it's... don't know is what I'm saying, is because you can do YouTube or blah-de-blah, YouTube videos and from your phone and webcam. But when you do YouTube, sometimes you get a bunch of coding and things look a little bit different, but let me do a separate session on it. That'll be in 7 or 8 or maybe even 9, but now I've said it, I'll probably do this at the next one. So thanks very much for being here with my shirt and tie on for Taylor Swift, who is awesome and super successful and needs to come back to Hangouts on air very soon. So thank you very much.